Hi, my name is Stephen Bones. I am a voice actor and also a voiceover talent. I've been in the voiceover industry for about 15 years or so now. So I've done countless commercials for radio, TV, corporate videos, customer service hotlines, cartoons, games, you name it. I've done quite a lot of work. How I got into it? Well, as a kid, I would tell people that I was raised by the television. So I was watching a lot of cartoons, and back then we couldn't skip the ads. So I would copy everything I hear on the TV, and one thing led to another. I would never knew that would become a skill that would be training for a kind of job. And when I got older, I studied audio engineering, and then somehow managed to find out about the voiceover industry and the commercial industry, and that's kind of how I got started. Okay, now this one I never expected to happen, because when I started in voiceovers in Malaysia, the big dream was like to be in a cartoon or an animated feature, and I had done that. So I thought, that maybe I've already run the gamut and done everything. But then video games started coming along, I think because there was some push from the government to start promoting game development in Malaysia. And most notably, Metronomic was creating this game called No Straight Roads. So I went for the audition and managed to land myself a role. And I didn't expect the game to come out on like PlayStation and Xbox and all the major platforms. I thought this was going to be like a dinky little indie game that no one would ever know about. When it comes to voicing for animation, the lines are pretty much set already. All the scenes are pretty much set, the story is pretty much set, so your lines are fixed. So you read a line and you move on, you read the next line, and so on and so forth. With games, because sometimes players can make different choices, and there's also a lot of movement kind of noises, so that will be the very big difference. The fact that you have to record multiple options for the same scene, and chances are they have like different emotional tangents attached to them, and also the fact that you have to do a lot of all these kind of noises, because your character might be punching or might be taking a punch, might be kicking or getting kicked, falling through a building, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. One of the biggest challenges would be trying to go full time with this kind of work, because right off the bat, nobody knows you. You don't know like what you're good at. There's not exactly a lot of classes for this kind of job. So getting started is pretty hard. But once you're able to break through and get in and establish yourself, then I have the dream job. I have my dream job. What more can I say? I would say right at the beginning, chances are most people will need a second job. I myself, what I did was I saved up enough money so that I would be able to not have any income coming in for at least 6 months to a year. And then I took the plunge. And I gave myself a deadline like, if after 6 months to a year it doesn't work out, then I'll just go back to working full time and pursue this as a side hustle. But with today's technology and the cost of microphones and setups, I can say, yeah, you can definitely start from home. But there is always an advantage in being physically present in a studio and going out to meet actual people who work in the industry. Practice, 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 listen, and be willing to upskill yourself. Take classes, even though it might not be voice acting classes, but you can take classes whether it's acting for beginners or acting courses, improv and all that. Things to help you level up as an actor to begin with. But then also you have to focus on the voice aspect of it, so you have to practice more, and also if you can, get a little setup or use your phone, record yourself and understand how you sound, understand what you can do, what you're good at, maybe what you're not, what you need to improve on, stuff like that.